Welcome to the Future Successors podcast, where the future is now. Today, I'm joined by Connor. Thank you for being here, Connor.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk with you.
How you doing, man? How you doing today? What you been up to, man?
Not much, just a typical day in the off season for us, just getting ready for next season and all the other cool stuff we got coming at OTE Arena soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're at the Future Successors podcast. You see success in the name and different things like that. How do you define success? Because I know I define success different. You may define success different. How do you define success?
That's a good point. Yeah, for everybody, success is definitely a different metric. For me and what I do, I'm more on the fan entertainment side of things. So we have the unique pleasure of our success is pretty much known instantly. If something we did in game was a success, you're going to hear fans booing, you're going to hear fans cheering, you're going to hear fans singing along to a song. So we get that instant gratification of knowing that what we did, was great. So in one way, that's success. From a company standpoint, I think success is continuing to grow the fan base, create fans that want to continue to come back to the arena to see what we have going on because we've created something that's such a unique and cool thing for people to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you have a football background, so you know about a little bit about hard work. Tell me that extra sauce that is needed when you're out here on game days, when you're behind the scenes during the week, just different things like that. Tell me the extra sauce that is needed that's longer than hard work for you to be where you're at now.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of hours that you spend, especially in what I do. It's a lot of standing. It's a lot of pre-event prep, rehearsals, things like that. So you got to just be able to lock in and kind of grind through it. I think sports is a grind. There's no sugarcoating it. It is a lot of fun as much as it is a hardcore grind. So you just got to really love what you're doing. And I think that's what all of us here share in common. We love doing this stuff. We love seeing the interaction with the fans. So, at the end of the night at midnight when I'm walking out of here and my legs hurt, my back hurts, it's all worth it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I know you recently just got married and you had a kid. Just tell me a little bit about that relationship with your wife and your newborn and everything.
Yeah. So we're actually celebrating our 5th year wedding anniversary in a week or two.
Yes, sir.
And just my daughter just turned 1. So yeah, it's been kind of a huge life change for us, especially both of us work. So there was a lot of trying to find a new balance in life. All of your routines that you had before are now out the window. You got to account for a whole nother individual. So if anything, it's made me want to work harder, to provide for that family. And we found, ways to make it all work. And luckily this company at Overtime Elite is incredible in terms of what they allow you to do. So I was able to spend a lot of great time in the early time when she was just born to, really connect with her. So grateful for that. Yeah, it's been awesome. I couldn't think of my life any differently.
Yes. Another thing, I've seen you've been all around Atlanta. You work for the Falcons, you work for the Hawks. Now you're at OTE. Can you please tell me the ups and downs that you've been through and a moment where you was very resilient and you just stuck through it, kept going, kept driving, and just seen it through?
Yeah, it certainly has been a journey. So to backtrack a little bit, I'm from upstate New York, and I took a chance. I knew I wanted to work in football. I moved down here to have an internship with the Falcons. I didn't know anybody, didn't know where to live, had to figure all that out. So I was alone for better part of a year, and just knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I kept plugging away at it. From there, I was able to earn my first full-time job with the Hawks, which was its own challenge. I'd never worked in basketball before. It was my first full-time job, so I didn't want to let anybody down. So there's a lot of moments throughout my time and people in general where you're going to face those trials, tribulations, and what does resilience look like. To me, I think it was just knowing that my path isn't like everyone else's and I'm on the right path for me. And you just got to keep chugging through it because even if things seem bleak at the time, maybe you're working a ton of hours and it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually that'll pass and you'll feel like you have that back. So it's all just ups and downs as life is. And I feel like, it's been good for me. It's strengthened my core, it's strengthened everything about like my work ethic and things like that have really improved just by going through tough times.
Now, moving through the ranks, I know there's somebody that was needed to help you along the way. Remember, that was a mentor, a cousin, an uncle, a brother. Now, who was that person for you that really helped you along the way to guide you
Yeah.
to those different places like the Hawks and the Falcons and overtime?
Yeah, so that starts way back. I was a senior in college, and I needed an internship to graduate, and I got lucky. I got this interview with the Falcons for event marketing internship, and the guy who was interviewing me and was the leader of that position was a guy named Brandon Ruth, who's currently the director of football operations travel for the Falcons. But at the time, he was an event manager, and that guy has just been, kind of my guardian angel, so to speak. He's helped me through a lot of stuff. He's given me chances. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. I wouldn't be in Atlanta doing what I'm doing. And throughout this time, he helped me. He gave me references with the Hawks when I was there, and then eventually I came back to the Falcons when he was no longer in the event side. Obviously, he was doing the logistics side, but was always there as a mentor. He would always offer me, his words of wisdom and feedback and things that he's experienced. So it's important to find those people and really lean into them. It's never a bad thing to ask for help. I think I think a lot of people they think about, I got to do this all on my own, otherwise it's not my own. But that's just not how life works. You got to get through everything, and having someone who's willing to give you a helping hand along the way is never a bad thing.
And so now that we're talking about relationships, now I know some people my age, they don't know how to make relationships. Tell me how you foster, how you network, how you put yourself out there to be able to meet these people that could put you in places to succeed, to be successful.
No doubt. My personal, I like to think of myself as a very personable guy. I can walk into a room and make a friend pretty quickly. So I leaned on that, and I think a lot of it really just comes down to, your hard work will pay off for sure, but it's the way you treat others that people pick up on. So I always made that part of my ethos is, I'm going to treat everybody like a friend, treat everyone with respect, and it'll eventually find its way back to me. So I think I've been able to grow a lot of really great relationships throughout my career just by being myself and not allowing certain situations to take over or make me feel any type of negative type toward anything. Just consistently kind of just be the positive light in the room, and I think people like to gravitate toward that. So it's been helpful for me.
It's always great to be able to be yourself and people just accept that as you, that's who you are. And so I know we talk about in sports championships. So in your career field, what would be a championship for you? Because I know we all working towards something. So what is a championship in your career field?
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, I've had a couple great experiences and bad experiences. I was with the Falcons when the 23-8 or 28-3, whatever that was. I forget the numbers. I tried blacking it out of my head.
Oh, Falcons! You hurt me with that.
I was there, but then I was with Atlanta United when we won the MLS Cup. So there's the physical ring, right? That means your team has been a success. But for me and my group, we kind of feel it every year. We get to feel what a championship feels like when the fans, the crowd, the players, the talent, everyone is just clicking. Everything that you do, they're loving it, they're buying into it, they're participating in what we're putting out. So that's kind of when I feel like a championship, and I get the pleasure to feel it almost every game. When the success happens, you leave that feeling like you just won. And I think that's something that drives me to work in sports is, you already mentioned I played football in college, so I have this natural desire to be a part of a team and to play. And this was my next step of being able to transition to working in sports and delivering a great event. And when you do that, it feels like you just won, the biggest game in the league.
Yes. Now, last question. So I know you're a little bit older now, but if you could go back and tell your 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 13-year-old self, what would you go back? What advice would you give him?
Let me think about that one. That's a really great question.
If you could say one thing.
Yeah, one thing.
One thing.
All right. I would say to be confident. Trust yourself.
Yes.
I think along the way, everybody's going to experience this where, you self-doubt and the noise you hear around you creates doubt. If you believe in yourself and you believe that what you're doing is the right thing, no one should stop you. You should just go all in on it. And I think that's been something over the years I've been able to really dive into and allow myself to be comfortable trusting myself instead of second guessing myself.
Yes, yes. Great answer. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming. Thank you for coming to the Future Successors podcast, where the future is now. That is our time today. Here with Connor, Senior Game President and Events Manager here at OTE. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.